Туркменистан как независимое государство появилось после развала Советского.
Turkmenistan has become an independent state, but after the fall of the USSR, from the very beginning, we had a president who was a communist. He became the head and he started to develop a culture of a personality cult. There started to be pictures and sculptures of this person throughout the land. A lot of places were renamed to bear the names of members of his family and institutions as well. So, although in 2006 Ben Bashi died, and then a younger president took office, the regime has not changed. The political situation is the same. We have the same system. There is no independence of the press in my country. It's impossible to have visas. Very few people can come into my country to see what is happening. There are no journalists. There are only 2 or 3 foreign agencies that have dared to send representatives. And the citizens are suffering under the burden of this regime. There is no independent association or trade union, not even a law concerning trade unions. The government feels this is just not necessary. Now, I've heard all the speakers today. They've all described different dictatorships, but when it boils down to the facts, all dictatorships are the same. They must build up a gray mass that is homogeneous, that has no independent opinion. And this means that people have been indoctrinated with a certain ideology, that the country must be united. But the goal of all dictators are the same, to subjugate the population. To rid themselves of any opinion that is divergent to the leaders. Some of my colleagues, although not many, did not agree with the policies of the government. So what happened? The same as what happens in other dictatorships. As soon as the intelligence services hear that someone disagrees with the policy of those in power, they try to convince them to change their views, their behavior, so that they can join the gray lump of people who make up the population. And when they cannot do so, then they start to threaten these people. And they put pressure on these people, not only on the individual, but on the individual's family. And next comes the stage of repression. The person loses his or her job, cannot leave the country. And next stage, if this does not work, well, of course, there comes imprisonment. I, too, have gone through all of these different stages. I left the country. I fled to exile. I live in Europe now. But my actions to defend human rights will continue. The regime in my country has not changed. A great deal remains to be done for me and for all my colleagues. Now, what are the hopes that we can have after the new president? Well, all our hopes were dashed because we see the situation has not changed and the situation is even more difficult. Now, what about internet? Access is extremely limited. Many sites have been blocked. We have no access to Facebook. It's all blocked in my country. There is one sole internet operator in my country, which is in the power of the government. People are forbidden from subscribing to foreign publications. We can't receive anything from Russia or Uzbekistan, even publications in Russian. The territory, in other words, is clamped shut. Why? So that we can have a gray mass of individuals. But there still are individuals and organizations that continue to take action. If they are repressed, last August, I received information about sidelining me, getting me out of the way. Turkmenistan contacted the Security Council to fight against liars and provocateurs who gave false information about my country. And I received a confirmation later about something even more concrete. That is, that if I was to be eliminated, that is, shoot me, it shouldn't be visible. It should look like a car accident. Something that didn't raise any suspicion, something that seemed natural. Well, we do what we can. People try to help me. I try to defend myself. I think that only God can protect me. I continue my struggle. I have devoted many years to defending human rights. I will continue in this manner. I'm extremely grateful to all those who fight for human rights throughout the world. You are doing everything you can so that things will improve, but at the same time, unfortunately, international structures, the European Union, where we speak about human rights a great deal, show us that nothing is happening. We have gas reserves in my country, for example, and people in the world hope to be able to use our gas reserves, and so they close their eyes and turn a blind eye to what is happening in a country where human rights are being flouted. Now, I am the only representative of my region in Central Asia, and of this entire region, and I can tell you that we have a lot of human rights problems in my neighboring countries as well, and throughout the territory of the former USSR. I hope we will be able to invite other colleagues who will be able to recount this situation, Uzbekistan, in Belarus, in Russia. I know there are enormous problems in those countries, and we should be hearing about them. But that said, I am very grateful for having been invited here today. I thank you, and I would be delighted to respond to your questions.